You might be upset and your feelings might genuinely be hurt, but instead of saying what's bothering you, your whole energy changes and now you're hoping somebody notices enough to figure it out. Exactly, it's so frustrating. Just talk about it. Then when somebody asks what's wrong, you say, "Nothing, I'm good, I'm just protecting my energy." No, love. If you're intentionally acting differently because you're upset but refusing to communicate, we've got to call that what it is. That's passive aggression. You're upset, but instead of saying what's wrong, you use silence, distance, or a change in behavior to make somebody feel it. That isn't maturity. That's punishment without communication. You're not automatically being mature because you stayed quiet. Silence can give you time to collect yourself, but when you're using it to make somebody uncomfortable enough to chase you and keep asking, well, that's punishment. Exactly. It's a form of manipulation. Precisely. And some of y'all love saying, "I don't do drama," while creating confusion everywhere you go because you won't have one uncomfortable conversation. Avoiding conflict isn't the same thing as creating peace. Then there's, "I'm just watching what's going on." Okay, but why does your observation come with an attitude and little slick comments while you're discussing the problem with everybody except the person you're actually upset with? And yes, God knows your heart, but the people dealing with you still need to know what's going on. Spiritual language shouldn't become your hiding place when it's time to communicate like an emotionally responsible adult. And let's talk about those inspirational posts. You won't have the conversation, but suddenly Facebook gets a whole sermon that everybody close to the situation knows was meant for one particular person. Everybody knows exactly who you're talking about, but because you didn't say their name, you convince yourself you didn't do anything wrong. That's still indirect communication. You just gave it an audience. Passive aggression gives you something direct communication doesn't. Deniability. You get to throw the rock, hide your hand, and then act confused when the person you aimed at turns around and confronts you. Then you dress the message up spiritually and say, "I just pray everybody heals," knowing good and well that prayer was aimed at somebody. Prayer shouldn't become the polite little weapon you use when you're afraid to speak plainly. Passive aggression doesn't always come with a nasty attitude. Sometimes the words sound perfectly pleasant, while the energy underneath them makes it very clear that something completely different is being communicated. Exactly. Some people learn this because speaking honestly never felt safe growing up. So somewhere along the way, keeping everything inside became easier than risking what might happen if you told the truth. It's a survival mechanism. We can understand where the behavior came from without pretending it's okay to keep doing it. At some point, you've got to stop making everybody around you pay for communication skills you were never taught. When everybody around you has to study your mood, decode what you really meant, and wonder whether something they said upset you, being around you starts feeling like emotional detective work. That gets exhausting. If you recognize yourself in this, don't get offended, get accountable. You can't keep calling it protecting your peace when you're really making people pay for feelings you refuse to communicate. Now let's talk about breaking that pattern. First, admit when you're angry. Stop trying so hard to look spiritually evolved that you pretend normal human emotions shouldn't touch you. You can be grounded and still admit somebody got on your nerves. Feeling hurt doesn't mean something's wrong with you. The problem starts when you refuse to acknowledge what's happening inside you and force everybody around you to experience those feelings through your behavior. Start getting comfortable saying, "That bothered me." That's enough to open a conversation. You don't need a speech or an audience because healing this behavior starts with learning how to tell the truth directly. Then explain what happened without turning the conversation into an attack. Tell them what landed wrong and how it affected you, because direct communication might feel uncomfortable, but prolonged confusion costs relationships. And stop expecting people to know what you need when you've never actually said it. "They should know" sounds good until you realize you're holding somebody accountable for a conversation that only happened inside your head. When somebody asks whether you're okay, stop saying "I'm fine" while your face, tone, and behavior are screaming otherwise. You've also got to get comfortable with somebody not liking what you say. Passive aggression comes from thinking that speaking honestly might make somebody see you differently. If somebody gets upset because you express myself respectfully, let them have their feelings. Their discomfort doesn't automatically mean you communicated wrong. If something's wrong, you've got the ability to speak to the person instead of hoping they recognize themselves. You can be the kind of person who cares enough about a relationship to tell the truth, even when that truth is uncomfortable. Sometimes the bravest thing you can say is, "You hurt me." That's emotional maturity. It's being able to feel what you feel and communicate without turning your emotions into secret weapons. Absolutely. So, bar family, protect your peace, but don't hide behind it. Say what you mean and give people the chance to respond to the truth, because that's how you stop performing maturity and actually start practicing it. Until next time, meet us right here at the bar.
Are you stressed, overwhelmed? Life got you down and feeling strange. Then ditch the drama and come thirsty for change. Meet me at the bar with your issues. Meet me at the bar with your issues. That's right, you're invited to the bar, so pull up a chair and get ready to pour out your heart to Coach Ree and Coach V.
Yeah, Coach Ree and Coach V, the dynamic duo. They're ready to shake up your perspective about love, life, or money. That's right, they'll help you, honey. Get to the root of it all. Get ready for real talk, real solutions, and a